Limpopo continues to count the cost of the recent deadly floods. Scores of people are trying to pick up the pieces after their houses were swept away by the heavy rains. The province's roads and infrastructure are badly affected. 19 people have lost their lives, with some still missing. Now, for the latest on the Mop-up operations, I'm joined by Limpopo Co-operative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs MEC, Basikopo Makamu. MEC, thank you so much for joining us. And I guess, how have those mop-up operations been going so far for you as a department?
Well, thanks very much, Masa, and the viewers out there. Let me say it will not necessarily be correct to say it's a mop-up operations as the rains are still pouring, and you will know that the ground is already saturated. So a little rain that comes still creates a flooding zone in areas where are not properly located. But I can tell you that we are starting to have our teams on the ground who are going out to do the assessments. Like I said, that the roads that have been damaged, we are still estimating them. Not less than 2 billion are affected, the schools, the electricity infrastructure, the water infrastructure. You may not necessarily talk about houses. You saw me during the course of the week where I was with the minister on Thursday, Friday. We were going Wembe, Mopani, just making sure that we visit those families which are displaced because they no longer have shelters. So it's a serious situation in the province of Limpopo. Hence, we appreciate the classification of a national disaster that may also bring on board some little resources from national government to come and assist us.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question to you, that, with the recent classification of these floods being a national disaster, that being gazetted, how would that assist you? But MEC, while I have you on that, you were saying you visited some of these families that are displaced. As a province, where are you able to put them? Is there going to be temporary shelter for them?
Yes, already we are going to erect temporary shelters, that which we call TRUs, temporary residential unit. But as we speak, some of them, and we must appreciate our churches, some of them are accommodated in churches as mass care, but also we do have a program where we can be able to get them in a proper areas like a lodge. But the area I'm talking about, like Mbaula, they cannot necessarily have a lodge closer to them. They are far away, and they felt they may not necessarily want to be accommodated far away from their relatives, far away from where their children can still go to school. But the Minister of Human Settlement has already procured somebody who will do TRUs, but we have already agreed with the traditional leaders in that community to allocate us land where we can be able to build these 39 units or permanent units that these people can be accommodated, because their situation is so dire that the area they were staying has just been swept away. It's now like a playing field where you can only see a piece of a brick or a piece of a pole that shows that these were the areas they were staying.
Please give us the timelines of these TRUs as well. You're talking about identifying land and things that are still yet to be done. But as we speak, there are people who are left destitute and homeless. How long is this going to take?
I can assure you that you can call me or interview me on Tuesday. We will have received the contractor on the ground. So I also have been informed the contractor, my team, has already liaised, though the contractor has been appointed by national government. But the team in the province are now aware who the contractor is, and the contractor will be on site.
Oh, well, thank you. So Tuesday, the 27th of January, will definitely hold you to that, MEC. And before I let you go, just wanted to know, you already had a long waiting list, most provinces do, for housing. It is a long battle that South Africa faces. With these devastating floods also coming into the fore, how does that impact on an already long existing waiting list for housing?
If you were to have resources, but you must also know, Masa, that housing backlog, it's a moving target. Today, a child who is staying with the parents gets to be 25, still now have got his or her own wife and her own children, will have to be allocated a site. Once the traditional leader allocate that person a site, because of unemployment in the country, the people will just have a shack you will have to come in and start to build the house. I was once passing through Polokwane after we have done a serious big project of housing. I saw more than 1,000 shacks I knew. Then I said, I have just completed the numbers that were there, that another 1,000 is here. So that happens everywhere. So I have told myself that unfortunately the economy is not performing as expected. The budget is shrinking. If last year I built 5,000 units, today or this year, the money that I have can only do 4,000. It just tells you that you are multiplying the backlog by 2 because I could not have achieved all the targets or all the backlog, yet the new ones are still coming.
So what do you do in such a situation? Because it seems then you're just chasing your tail.
That's what I'm saying, that you use the means test and try to look at the most dire people that must be allocated house as you move on and hope others still get a job. That's why we are even saying as government, at some point, we should be able to service where people stay so that when people get jobs, we should not necessarily have a person who you have built a house, once get a proper job, demolish your RDP or your low-cost housing and build a bigger house. The resource will have been used for somebody who will have been the beneficiary. Hence, we are prioritizing child-headed family, elderly people, but those that we think they're still part of the economic players that they can still job are not necessarily our priorities.
MEC Makamu, good luck to you. It's a very tall task. Thank you very much for joining us.